Hello, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Frankie.
And we are Conbini Cult. Welcome to this week's episode. Woo! How are you, Frankie?
Okay, so we're in the middle of October right now.
Yeah.
This is the busiest time of year for me work-wise. So I'm just, treading in the open ocean of life.
Oh, barely hanging on.
Barely staying afloat.
Yeah, Frankie is so busy just with work stuff. And of course, as always, doing everything for this podcast. So we appreciate your hard work.
The results are, I'm happy when things are finished. I'm my gosh, I did that. But in the moment, I'm like,
I know, but it does pay off. Speaking of, October, we always do a spooky stories episode in October. And if you haven't checked that one out yet, please do. Frankie worked really hard on it, and it's just one long monster episode of all the spooky stories packed into one this time.
Yeah, there might be a second part. We're not sure yet as of this moment if we get enough stories.
But unlike last year, where we had a spooky segment every week.
Throughout October.
Throughout October, this time it's just in one big long episode. So the people who like spooky stuff can get watch it all then, and the people who don't really like spooky stuff, you can just skip the one episode and you're only missing 1 week versus a month, I guess, which is good for those people.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fun. I really, as someone who doesn't really but I'm just scared. Someone who's scared of spooky stuff in general, it was still really fun for me to hear. We got stories from the public. I like the story. I like the storytelling. Had a lot of great discussions with people who came on to the pod. It was really fun. So I had a good time. But other than that, anything else happening with you? Just busy?
No, just busy. Having a good time, I guess, but also being
Are you sure?
busy.
It sounds like I'm holding a gun to your head or something.
I love it here.
Yeah. For real. I'm holding you hostage. But
no, I'm happy but tired.
Happy and healthy? Okay.
Healthy,
well, that's good.
I don't know about that.
No, we'll see. Speaking of, healthy and being unhealthy, my baby just got sick, or she's coming over a cold. So that's kind of my life update is just, being a mom and taking care of her. If anyone out there has ever experienced, just sick kids or sick babies in general, it's the worst. It's not fun at all, especially because if they're at a period where they can't talk, they obviously don't know how to tell you what's wrong. And so it's really just heartbreaking as her mom because I don't know what's going on with her, and just taking her to the hospital. It's always, no one wants to see their kids or family members in hospital, So it was a rough week for the both of us, but she's better now.
She's getting better.
Yeah, she's better. It's just a cold. It is getting chillier outside, and I think colds, especially with kids, and if you do daycare and school and all of that, it's going around. It's bound to happen. So,
well, since she was born technically in the summer, this is the coldest temperature
this is
she's experienced.
That's very
so
true.
far.
So recently, if we've gone outside, to go for a walk or run an errand, I have to remember to put a blanket on her because I'm so used to just it being hot all the time and dressing her in, breathable, cooler clothes. Now that it's getting cooler, I'm like, how do I dress you? I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to wear. And so I'm keeping her warm, but she's okay. Yeah, that's all that's been going on. But all right.
That's good. Yeah. Let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
So anyway, if you haven't seen from the title already, just some backstory. Today's topic, I've titled it "Falling Out of Love with Japan" is the tentative title right now. Yeah. But every week or every time we have to come up with a topic to discuss. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I really know what I want to talk about. Maybe there's just a lot of things happening in Japan at the time that need to be, discussed.
Yeah.
And for me, at least, especially with baby stuff and everything going on, I was in a creative block. I truly had no idea what to talk about this week. And so when I was on Reddit, r/Japan life, just looking at stuff, I literally just typed in Japan into the search on Reddit, and the top few posts were all about just not even the negative side of Japan, but it was very much in this, I don't know, in the conversation of why are you falling out of love with Japan? And people going back home because they just realized maybe Japan life wasn't for them. And because I was surprised to see more than one post about it, like recently at least, I thought, hey, why not? I think it'd be fun to talk about, maybe offer some advice out there, talk about our experiences, because we've both been here for 8 years. There's a reason why we haven't gone home yet.
8.5 years.
Yeah.
Almost 10.
Almost 10.
Almost
so
a decade.
That's crazy. And so I just wanted to hear about these people's experiences, because we hear about so many wonderful things about Japan. I'm curious to see what others have to say about it, I guess.
Yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah, but before we get into that, as always, we have our little disclaimer. It's just a light disclaimer. I mean, we will be reading, a lot of posts about the downsides of living in Japan, why people maybe didn't enjoy it as much as they thought they would. But please keep, any but Japan is so much better than the US or whatever country. Or if you hate it, then just leave. We don't need any of those comments. Keep those to a minimum. If zero.
But some of those people did leave.
I mean, yeah, I guess in this case they did. They
you don't
did
like
leave.
it, leave.
Yeah, at their own will though. We don't need people in the comments telling them then leave. Some people just need to vent. I vent all the time. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You can have general dissatisfaction in your daily life, no matter where in the world you live. Nowhere is perfect. So just putting that out there. All right, shall we get into it?
Yeah. Also,
anything to add?
I mean, we like it, but that's not to say that, every person who lives here, it's going to be a good fit for them. There are plenty of people who maybe didn't enjoy living here, but they want to come back in the future to travel. So it really depends. And that's not to say that, we're built different. We lasted here. It really just depends on the person and your lifestyle and stuff. Just because you didn't enjoy living here doesn't mean that you hated the country and the people.
Or that you did anything wrong or whatever. It just, life happens. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So the first story we have was posted in r/Japan Life about a year ago. The title is Falling Out of Love with Living in Japan. And would you like to read this one, Frankie?
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm in my late 20s and have been living in Japan for close to 6 years. Came fresh out of uni and have spent most of my adult life here. Traveled around the country, got N2 and a job at a Japanese company, and basically completed my goal of being fully independent here. Traveling here used to give me fulfillment, but now it just feels kind of dull. Also, my job at a Japanese company is lacking the work-life balance and pay department. Using Japanese daily at work / for daily life used to be fun, growing experience, but now it's just causing me stress, and I kind of just want to speak English only lately. The icing on the cake, my partner came here to teach English to be with me, but I feel like being here is holding them back. It makes me kind of sad since I've been in love with Japan since I was a kid, but I think it might be time to leave soon. I have no desire to move back to my home country, Canada, since it's too cold and depressing for me. So I was thinking of moving to the US. Since my partner's from there. Not really sure about it though because of the safety and healthcare, and I don't drive, so I don't want to be isolated there. Valid. Feeling a bit lost about what to do. Any advice from others who have been in a similar place would be appreciated.
Yeah, so this post really spoke to me because again, it's what inspired me to make the title Falling Out of Love with Japan. I was very surprised to see that here. It also just, I don't know, spoke to me in a lot of ways because this person has been here for almost as long as I have. So they said 6 years. At the time of the post, I'm pushing, 8 years, going on 9 years. They also have N2 and got a job working in a Japanese company. That's currently what I'm doing. And so a lot of their, I think, lost feeling and frustration, I really understand. So reading the comments, I was like, oh, I kind of read it in as if it was being spoken to me a little bit too. Okay. It was really nice and uplifting. One of the comments said, take a moment to step back and find what's making you feel this way. Perhaps you're too steeped in Japanese culture and life that you need to refresh and reacquaint yourself. Find something non-Japanese that makes you happy while still enjoying life in Japan. And I think that's just really good advice all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Another one that was really good was... It says, living overseas is much like a relationship. The first year is very formative and indicative of if you will continue or not. It's all very exciting and new. Then there's the 3-year and 7-year humps, which are very pivotal, where people will either break up or be in it for long term. Things aren't as fresh as they used to be. You don't get excited by the small things anymore. You've done a lot of what there is to do. In the end, you'll have to weigh up the pros and cons of your circumstances, decide if it's worth pushing through the lull and trying to make things exciting again or not. There's a lot of very happy and successful lifers here, but there's also a lot of bitter and resentful ones. So try and make the right choice. And I thought, yes.
That is interesting.
That was like well said. I don't know, perfectly said in my opinion, especially that 3-year and 7-year hump timeline and comparing it to a relationship. I don't know. Have you ever experienced that when by year 3 and kind of now, or at least in the middle of your time here, you were not over it, I guess, but nothing was as exciting as it used to be?
Maybe not exactly like that, but there have been times that I've become more frustrated about certain aspects of work and daily life. But I'm still here, so.
Yeah, same. When this person said they're not excited by the small things anymore, I totally agree with that. I don't know. I think because we've lived here for so long, we tend to forget, I don't know, the little things like vending machines. I don't know, it sounds really cheesy, but whatever tourists find exciting here. Like when my sister came to visit recently, she just was blown away by a lot of the stuff happening here.
Yeah.
How clean it was, for example, vending machines. She lost her phone and someone turned it in. It came right back to her. Things like that are all things I forget to be thankful for in a way. They've just become so normal life to me. That it's, I guess that part of it isn't exciting, but for me a lot of it is Japanese study as well. I've kind of reached my peak where I can survive to an extent. So
I feel that.
So studying Japanese isn't as exciting for me anymore. I could study more and learn a lot more. I'm not saying I'm fluent or perfect by any means, but I know enough to not struggle in daily life. And now, because this is my own fault, not studying and learning anything new, it's not as fun to study Japanese, because it's all the things I have to study now are more medical language or legal terms and things that are boring to study in any language for me, so I thought it was just an interesting post to bring up that there are people here who I guess aren't as happy as they were when they first came, and that's important to talk about as well.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the bitter and resentful lifer here that person said in the comment. I was like, oh, it kind of called me out a little bit,
Are you bitter and resentful?
I'm not bitter yet, but I can see myself.
Not yet.
But I can see myself being really jaded about a lot of things, especially since my sister came to visit recently, because she doesn't know anything about Japan before she came. So when I was asking her about, where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit? What do you want to do? A lot of the things were things for me that I've already done. And now all I see when I think about those things, for example, the Tokyo go-karting or Arashiyama in Kyoto, it's very been there, done that. People, ew, gross. I don't want to do that. It's too crowded. It's overrated. And then I start to get these jaded, ideas of it just not being exciting anymore. And I really had to catch myself and think, well, no, that's just you personally thinking that way. So before I become bitter and resentful, I have to remind myself how lucky and happy I am to be here as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Shall we move on? No other advice for that person in the Reddit?
No, I think they're not really sure where they want to live next, but it seems like they're pretty, they decided that they want to leave, and that's okay.
Okay. So we start off on kind of a serious note, but this next post I want Frankie to read. It's a little bit, I guess, lighthearted in a way. There were some funny comments and then a little bit more serious ones as well.
Okay.
If you want to take this next one.
Sure. Okay. It's called I Like My Life in Japan, but... This is aimed mainly at people who, by and large, like living in Japan, but who have a big butt. Ooh! Sorry, I mean a big butt, B-U-T. In other words, one thing that definitely detracts from the overall positives of living here. The caveat is that it has to be something that could theoretically change, so it's too hot in summer or it's too cold in winter is sort of a cop-out. Mine is pretty simple. Some of the grade A losers I work with, damn.
Yeah, call them out.
They simply never stop working, and it's kind of pathetic to see. My job is essentially reactive in nature. Like, I have to be asked to do something, then I do it. Some of the people I work with will send me a job request at 6 in the morning. I don't see it until I start work, which sure as hell isn't 6 a.m. Then I'll see messages from the same person throughout the day. Then I'll log off for the day. The next morning, I'll log back on and see that they've been sending me messages at 9, 10, 11, midnight. Dude, you either have too much to do or you literally have nothing better to do. The former suggests that you have no time management skills or you're trying to get into the section chief's pants because you want a promotion. The latter is too miserable to contemplate. Luckily, my working hours are set, so I don't have to watch these people's emails come in at times when any well-adjusted person would be, I don't know, hanging with their friends, family, watching a film, reading a book, having a life. Anyway, that's my butt. What's yours?
I just like the first sentence, like, this is for people who have a big butt. When I first read the post too, I was like, oh, I guess like
big butts and I cannot lie.
I was like, oh, I guess this post is for me.
It's for me.
I'm kidding.
I feel seen.
Yeah, it threw me off. It was, I don't know, although it really sucks to, work in a company where everyone seems to be a workaholic and you're getting these messages at all times in the day. I like the way the OP just worded the post. It was very funny. It was very funny. So yeah, that was their butt. Do you have a butt? Like, I love living in Japan, but...
Oh, there's things that frustrate me from time to time. I mean, the classic one, like paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You just
I
thought
was
of
talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
So my friend, they had to do some kind of paperwork that needed their hanko. And I was thinking, because they couldn't find it. They knew it was in their house, but they couldn't find it. And they were like, oh, like, would I have to get a new one or whatever? And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, if I ever lost my hanko, I would fake my death. Because
what? Okay. Because
it would be such a headache because then you'd have to make a new one and then you'd have to register it again and then you would have to go to every single institution where you have ever used the hanko and then give them the new one. So all your banks, like all this stuff. So it would be easier to just fake your death and go live in the woods or something.
So I guess for you, I love living in Japan, but the hanko is a complete waste of time or something.
Just the process to do things is sometimes overly complicated, and that can get frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's not only for foreign people. A lot of Japanese people, like my husband, resonates with the same frustrations I have. So it's not only us dumb foreigners.
Yeah, that's true. Do I have one? Mine is, and hear me out, is... I love living in Japan, but City Hall is useless to me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. If you're a City Hall worker, I've worked in a government office before. I'm not saying like you personally or those people. It's just
the system.
The system is very, I don't know, outdated, I guess.
And overly
complicated. And yeah, there's just, I don't know, there's a lot of times where you need to go to City Hall for basically everything. Sometimes when you move in, when you move out, when you get a My Number card, for taxes, for health insurance, so many reasons to go there.
Pension.
Yeah, and I dread going there every single time because there's just, I don't know, always some kind of complication that comes up that just isn't my fault almost, And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's very vague. That's such a general one. I feel like a lot of people have that same issue with Japan. But
at City Hall specifically, there's a different window for everything. There's like 20 different windows. So if you have a question about pension, you got to go to a different place. It might be on a different floor in a different building, depending on what your City Hall is like.
Yeah.
There's not just one system for all that stuff, and a lot of it can't be done online.
That's true. I think I'll think of a more lighthearted but as we talk about some of the comments I wanted to mention, but that's the one I can think of on the spot. Yeah.
Okay. That made me think of another City Hall related thing.
Yeah.
So My Number.
Yeah. Okay.
So for foreign people, your My Number card, which is basically like a social security number, but there's a physical card. That has it. That has like a chip in it, and you can do different stuff like print documents out at the convenience store if you have it, the card plus the card with the chip. But if you are a foreigner, it expires at the same time as your visa. And then if it is, so when you renew your visa, you also need to extend your My Number card, and you have 1 month to do it. And if you don't do it within 1 month, it expires. But it's not as simple as just extending it or getting a new card. You have to go to City Hall, fill out some paper that says like, my card is expired, I'm returning it to you. And then you have to start all the way from zero all over again to get a new My Number card. Even though the actual number doesn't change, but for some reason the card is really complicated.
Yeah. It sounds like you had a really complicated process. I mean, I just did mine. So
don't let it go past a month.
Don't let it go past the expiration date. That's basically the only advice we can give. In my case, because I knew my residence card was going to expire along with the My Number card, I went to City Hall first with the My Number, like with both. And I said, my residence card, backtrack. I went to immigration first with my residence card to go start the renewal process. And it takes a long time to renew. And I anticipated that. So while that was still in process, I also took both to City Hall. I said, I'm in the process of renewing my residence card, but it is not processed yet. It probably won't be done until after the expiration. And so they give you a special stamp on your My Number card that says, they give you like a 3-month extension, basically.
Okay.
And then once my new residence card was all ready, I picked it up. I went back to City Hall. I said, hey, my visa was renewed. So now my number card needs to coincide with this thing. And then they give you another stamp underneath that special extension date with the same expiration date as your current residence card. So I have the same card. I didn't have to get like a new one or anything. So that's like my advice. Please just go ahead and take care of that before anything expires. It really sucks that you had to go through that.
Twice.
Yeah, that's such a pain.
That's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm in this pickle for the second time.
Yeah. Now that we're just like in rant mode, I'm thinking like, I love Japan, but stop trying to be, high tech and everything if your tech doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, for example, the My Number card, like Frankie mentioned, there's a chip in it now. And so a lot of phone readers, you have to read the chip on your My Number, or a lot of things say, you need to do it online, like filing your taxes, or there's lots of things you can do online now. Can you? In Japan. But none of the websites are like good or efficient. And so it's like, I love Japan, but it's very, technologically behind, and it needs to catch up. Yeah. What were we going to say?
But going back to this post about the work culture, how they're saying they're workaholic coworkers. Is your company like that? Are people answering their emails through the night?
Oh, no. One thing I really love about where I currently work is my boss, without too much detail, used to work in a very typical Japanese environment when he was young and really hated the culture of it. And so he opened up his own company. And because of that, he's very, anti looking at like getting in touch with people on their day off. Because I think as the boss too, he hates it when people try to call him when it's like his, he's trying to take some time off as well. And so he really discourages reaching out to someone if they're not on the clock or if they're not working. And so
that's good.
I really enjoy just when I go in, every point of contact and every email and message I send is on company, like in my working hours. And if someone does send me a message, like maybe they forgot I clocked out, or they're just sending me a reminder for the next day. Motorcycle outside. Yeah, sorry. Even if someone is contacting me out of my working hours, I don't feel pressure to even look at it or check it. And if I don't notice it until the next day, no one makes each other feel guilty for not looking at it. It was more, if that happens, it was kind of like a mistake on our end. So no, I don't go through this, and I love it.
That is very nice.
Yeah, I feel bad for anyone who does go through this.
Yeah, there are a lot of companies like that though.
Yeah, for sure.
So me and my husband, we have our own company, so we technically work for ourselves, but we have to communicate with clients. And I have to be very conscious about the time, because I'm a night owl. I'm working when I feel like pretty much. Obviously I have deadlines, but sometimes I look at my emails at weird hours. And then I have to remind myself, like, don't respond because I don't want this person to feel pressured to look into whatever I'm asking about or to respond to me. So I really take advantage of that feature to schedule emails.
I was just going to say, do you use Gmail
Send
schedule?
It at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that is such a nice feature. I love that feature as well.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the comments on here I really wanted to highlight. Someone said, I love it here, but there's no place for men who divorce and want to keep seeing their children.
Oh.
My friend is going through absolute hell dealing with this. He's a great guy and was an amazing father. Then his wife lost her mind. Okay. Took his daughter, 5 at the time, and went to live with her parents. Now he sees her once a month for a supervised 1-hour visit. Has to go to a park and be supervised by 2 volunteers from a local NGO group. Costs him 20,000 yen for the privilege. He cannot He cannot take food, drinks, or any toys and gifts that she takes home. It's heartbreaking. He's constantly browbeaten and coerced to send his ex more money, or even this contact will be cut off. At his house, he still has her bedroom set up for the day she can finally visit. It's been nearly 4 years now. Japan needs joint custody and needs it yesterday. Also needs divorced parents to act like adults and put the needs of children ahead of their own emotional fragility. So this post and this comment was from a year ago. So I feel like things have changed in the year about divorce and joint custody. We talked about it a little bit.
We talked about that before, how joint custody was passed. Yeah. But it won't be enacted until 2026.
Yeah. But
so people can retroactively apply for joint custody. But because the system is not enacted yet, we don't know how it's going to be. Like, what is the likelihood that somebody would be granted joint custody or partial custody? We don't know yet.
It is really sad,
Just the part about him having her bedroom ready
set up. I know. I read that last night. Like, so that is a very big and valid but. Yes. I completely agree with that one.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah. Another comment. This one is kind of obvious for. It says, my life in Japan is great, except for the fact that same-sex marriage is still not recognized here. Not having any recognition or rights as a married couple, despite having a legal marriage from the U.S., is problematic for us. Yeah. I agree. That's a very big butt. Big butt,
That's a big booty.
Yeah. And then people get into, things like sexism is still really bad. Like all of the obvious, downsides of Japan. Were kind of their big butts. But this a more funny one. Do you want to read that one?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Things are too seasonal. In the last 5 to 10 years, the growth of online shopping has resolved the shopping issue for the most part, but the brick-and-mortar stores, bless them, are far too quick to shift their entire stock from season to season. For example, trying to buy a fan in September can be impossible even though it's still hot, and good luck trying to find shorts in the winter. The pools and beaches close at the end of the school summer even though it's still hot, and beer brands come and go every 3 months. I'm from the UK where it could be t-shirt weather on Christmas Day or sleet and hail in July, so that could probably affect my outlook.
Yeah, I thought it was just, I don't know, in comparison to the other points, it was a little more lighthearted and interesting and very true because the other day, it's October 11th at the time we're recording this. When did summer officially end and fall officially start technically? When is
September 23rd?
Something
21st
like that,
or 23rd?
Right? Yeah. And so
autumnal equinox.
And my husband, he was online shopping, saw an Aloha shirt, like a short sleeve, Aloha shirt that he really likes from this brand, and he saw that a specific store here in Osaka had it or should have it. So he said, "Great, I'm gonna go to the store and ask if they have this Aloha shirt." It is probably September 27th. I don't know, technically fall at this point. It's hot as I don't want to say hot as balls. It's hot still, when hot. We're going. It's still hot, even October. But it's still hot, like short sleeve weather at the time we're going there. Yeah. And he asks them, hey, do you have this shirt? I saw it online. It says in stock. And they were like, oh, no, because it's fall now. We
only have winter coats.
And everything, if you did look in the store, it was all long sleeve. And they were like, no, it's summer's over, so nope. So you just can't buy that shirt, I guess. But that one really spoke to me. I was like, oh, that's so true. I never really thought about that one.
Yeah, I've also noticed the way that people dress also changes with the seasons, even if it is still hot or cold. Like, it's fall now. Yeah. We can't wear...
That's
it's
true.
not t-shirt weather anymore. So sometimes I feel silly. Like, in the past few weeks or so, I'm like, I'm still hot. I'm wearing a t-shirt. But everybody else looks like
dressed for fall already. Yeah, I feel a little, we're indoors and I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans now, but I feel like if I were to go outside, someone, maybe a Japanese person would be like, oh, like, how's summer vibes of you,
so American.
Yeah, that actually did happen where one of my coworkers, he's also from the States, he was wearing, I think it was November, but he's from the East Coast, so like cold weather to him is just, you know, nothing for him, at least when it comes to Japan's cold weather. So for him, he was still a little warm. He was wearing just a short sleeve shirt. Whereas all the Japanese staff in the office, they were kind of already in long sleeves because it was a cold day, just not cold enough for him because he's from the East Coast. And he came in and everyone was like, wow, a short sleeve shirt in autumn? Crazy, you know? It's like, you American guy, so silly. So yeah, I totally get what you mean by the clothes as well.
Yeah. But I like the dedication.
Yeah. Okay. That's all we have to get into for butts if you didn't have any other butts. Yeah. I wanted to just cover that divorce one because that was a big butt.
Yeah. That is a very big butt.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not moving on. The last comment I had from this thread, I copied it into our notes because it was very noteworthy for me.
Okay.
Someone said, I like living here, but I think it's really hard to make friendships with Japanese people or date people. I feel like most people will see you as either a novelty toy or an expiration date tag. The few Japanese friends I do have are super tight, really cool people, but there's only so many times I can go through my life story of why I'm in Japan when meeting someone for the first time. For dating, like if you want like an actual relationship with someone and not with a gaijin hunter, it feels hard being an obvious foreigner. I think most women kind of just assume you don't speak Japanese or are a tourist, which is annoying. People who don't want to date foreigners because of cultural differences do have a genuinely valid reason, I think. Annoying when you do go on a date and it goes seemingly well and then realize you were the try dating a foreigner experience. Kind of makes you feel like, again, a novelty or piece of meat. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think we talked about this in our dating episode a long time ago, just about, not really finding meaningful relationships. If you are looking for a meaningful relationship. And,
it can be challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, the two of us have meaningful relationships.
I mean, we're married. We don't really like speak, about that anymore. But I wanted to talk more about the friendship part of it because I love my Japanese friends here that I've made, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like there's a lot of them are still very much surface level. I don't have any like deep friendships with Japanese people because I mean they're either too busy working or I don't know, I feel like maybe not so much these days because now that I'm married and I have a kid in Japan, it's very apparent that I'm here long term. But when I first came to Japan and I was kind of on a different job and teaching, I was on a 3-year contract. So like this person said, I did have an expiration date and not just like friendships, but working relationships too. I feel like no one really took the time to get to know me that well because they just knew another person was going to replace me soon after. And that starts to really wear on you when it's like done to you in that way. But also when you are a foreigner here, unless you're like Frankie and I, like married to a Japanese person, most likely settling down in Japan, when you make friends with other foreigners even, you never know when someone's going to go home kind of.
That is true.
And so I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people as well. And so, that is a very valid but is friendships are hard here.
Very valid.
Yeah. I hope I don't have to say goodbye to you one day.
You kicking me out?
Actually, goodbye right now. Get out. Okay. To move on with our topic.
Okay.
It isn't just foreigners in Japan who are having a hard time. Did you know that according to this article I found by the Mainichi, Japan ranks lowest in quality of life satisfaction among 30 countries?
Wow.
According to a happiness survey. So would you like to start and we can take turns reading this one?
Yeah. Okay. So Tokyo. Japanese people have the lowest satisfaction and expectations for quality of life among 30 countries, while 60% are happy, a global survey has shown. Wait a minute. They're not satisfied with the quality of life, but are still happy. That sounds complicated.
Well, just 60% are happy.
Let's get into
Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just copy-pasted that quote. Okay. Do you know how to pronounce this? Ipsos? I-P-S-O-S? Ipsos?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just going to call it Ipsos. Ipsos, a global polling company headquartered in France, conducted an online survey on happiness between December 2024 and January 2025, targeting a total of 23,765 people from across 30 countries in Europe, North America, and Asia, among other regions. Around 2,000 people from Japan participated.
When asked about their sense of happiness with 4 response options, very happy, rather happy, not very happy, and not happy at all, only 60% of Japanese respondents chose very happy or rather happy, placing Japan 27th out of 30 countries. This was significantly below the average of 71%. While this marked a 3-point increase from the previous survey released in 2024, around 57%, it was still a 10-point drop compared to the first happiness poll in 2011.
Among Japanese respondents who said they were not happy, the most common reason was their economic situation, cited by 64%. This was far greater than the second most frequent reason of "I feel my life has meaning" at 27%.
Why is this so deep?
Yeah, that was real deep.
It started off like, are you happy? Yes or no?
I feel my life has meaning? Yes or no? Okay.
Conversely, the most common reason for feeling happy was relationships with family, given by 41.1%, with a close second, feeling appreciated and loved at 41%.
What stood out for Japan was the low level of satisfaction with quality of life. Only 13% of Japanese police answered that their current quality of life is good, the lowest among all 30 countries. This was less than half the average of 42% and notably lower than Hungary, 22%, the second lowest, and South Korea, 24%, the third lowest.
Expectations for the future were also low among the Japanese. Only 15% of Japanese respondents said overall quality of life will be much better in 5 years. That's bleak.
Yeah.
The lowest among all nations surveyed. In contrast, the highest optimism for the future was seen in Colombia at 79%, followed by India at 78% and 76% each in Argentina, Indonesia, and Mexico.
Commenting on Japan's low happiness levels, Shunichi Uchida, Ipsos Japan's president and CEO, said, "It seems that feeling economically strained has a major impact on people's sense of happiness. At the time, the top factor for feeling happy was relationships with family. So if more people in Japan can find sense of value in good relationships with those who are close to them, as well as gratitude and love, there's a possibility that overall happiness levels could improve." Yeah.
That's so bleak.
Yeah, that was depressing. Any thoughts on that? Do you agree? Would you say that it kind of checks out, this article? I mean, I'm not a Japanese person, so I guess we don't know for sure, but...
Yeah, I can't say 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, the economic situation is pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Especially with the rapidly increasing aging population and the declining birth rate.
Mm-hmm. And we're going through inflation now and rice shortage, a lot of things happening here in Japan. I found an interesting Reddit post. I didn't feel it was necessary to add into our notes or anything because it was quite negative. Someone just asked, like, why is Japan going to, burning to the ground, basically? I think they're kind of a lifer here. They were here for maybe over 20 years. And their rant was more just like, it's not the same as when I first came here. And now everyone seems really negative and blah, blah, blah. And one of the comments on there that I remember was just stating, a lot of things changed, not just in Japan, but around the world after COVID. I think COVID really just impacted everyone's, overall happiness, psyche, mental health. And obviously COVID had a huge impact on the economy as well, right? And like this survey said, a lot of Japanese people's happiness were tied to their economic situation. Yeah. And sure, if you were laid off because of COVID or if you were unable to work because of COVID, that does play, a role in your overall satisfaction with daily life, I'm sure. So yeah, it does make sense. But what did it say? Like the percentage of people think Japan is going to be better in the next 5 years? What was that?
Only 15%.
Yeah, that was so depressing.
I mean, if you're talking about just the economy, it's not looking too good at the moment. And the economy does impact a lot of aspects of life, so it makes sense.
Yeah. It's really bleak, as you say. Yeah.
Just surprising because it is so bleak. Yeah.
Do you believe in the money can't buy happiness? Like, what do you call saying or whatever?
I mean, Technically, no, but most people's stress comes from money-related things.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have to worry about that, then you would have the opportunity to even ponder the existential question of can money buy happiness?
Yeah, that's true. I have a friend of mine who we were talking about that, and they were like, I don't know, maybe not, but have you ever seen anyone frown on a private yacht? It's like, you got a point there. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you can be rich in a lot of things, and sure, money can't buy a lot of things as well, but hey, it is nice to have. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, there was some TikToker or Instagrammer. There was like a very viral video because this girl used to post like jokey things all the time about how she's going to be rich one day and whatever. And she's like eating potato chips on her bed. She's like, they say money can't buy happiness.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know me.
Yeah, it is really nice when you don't have to stress about, finances and things like that. So, but anyway, let's pick up the mood a little bit, okay?
Can we come back?
I know. Sorry, the vibes of this episode, I realize I've structured it very, up and down. Where we started off kind of sad, picked it up a little bit.
It got funny.
Went real downhill with that survey about happiness, but I want to...
Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. I'm taking you on an emotional journey. But anyway...
Okay.
So I want to pick it back up again. Okay. I found an interesting post on Reddit. It said, your most controversial thought about any aspect of living in Japan. So
I read it a little bit.
Yeah. So the original post is very short. I'll just read it.
Okay.
So the title was, your most controversial thought about any aspect of life in Japan. Mine, 7-Eleven sucks. I mean, apart from the massive price hike compared to supermarkets, the non-alcoholic drink selection is terrible. There's barely anything healthy to eat, no fresh juices, fruit only if you're lucky, and many of its own brands are genuinely not great. Famima and Lawson are better. Frankie's giving like the death stare for our audio-only listeners.
I'm a 7-Eleven stan.
So very controversial for sure.
But I don't go in there looking for healthy things.
Yeah, if you're going to the Conbini to look for like a healthy meal or like a wide selection of fruit, I don't know.
And a mango ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know if the Conbini is the right place to go, but okay.
I would go to some kind of, market or something if I was looking for healthy foods and fresh juices and fruits and stuff.
Yeah. We get a lot of hot takes, but I've never heard anyone
a take so hot.
Yeah, a take so hot. So controversial hot take. Yes, that was fun.
It's funny.
The top comment I really just wanted to read. It has 746 upvotes.
This I agree with. Okay.
I saw this and I was like, yes. It says, the napkins aren't napkins. They don't absorb, they smear.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's because they're partially made with plastic.
Yeah.
It's like a paper plastic mixture. Oh.
Yeah, and that's what the reply comment said too.
There we
exactly
go.
That. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like they're made out of paper and coated with plastic. They're complete shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it has nothing to do with the napkins, like to wipe up napkins in this context. But did you know? So this is like an embarrassing
The ones at restaurants and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, but kind of to go back to our embarrassing language mistakes episode, did you know?
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Like, so for anyone who doesn't know, I'll just tell you right now. So the word for sanitary pad, like a pad for your period, is napkin in Japanese. So the word for it is katakana, it's napkin. Okay? So just keep that in mind, because don't be like me when you're at a restaurant. I mean, maybe now these days, I feel like restaurant staff understand what you're talking about. Yeah. But the first time when I was asking someone for a napkin and I asked them for a napkin, they gave me the weirdest look because it was like me at a restaurant asking for a pad, basically. So just watch out. Yeah. You knew that too? Why is it called
realized
napkin?
That as you said it. I've never made that mistake, but I feel like I potentially could have.
Yeah. So they're called napkin usually for sanitary pads. So if you are looking for kind of like the wet wipes at a restaurant or something, just ask for a shibori. Oshibori, yeah.
Oshibori.
Just don't be like me. Heads up. Okay. Another one, they said controversial. How about cheating is so normalized here? I don't know why y'all are trying to find husbands and wives here. with 351 upvotes. Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah, if you are familiar with that, I forgot who did the interview, but it was the street interview in Japan that was going super
Takashi
viral.
from Japan.
Was it him?
I think he started the trend of asking people if cheating is...
No, if
or
prostitution
is
counts as cheating. Yeah. And a lot of people said no. So, yeah.
But, always take it with a grain of salt because these things are edited and they probably choose the most, controversial answers to get more views. So,
yeah.
But it is pretty, I don't know if normalized is the right word, but it is quite common.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Yeah. Any other controversial takes? I don't know. I really just like that convenience store and napkin one.
Wait, did you see this one?
Oh,
Somebody
no.
said, I kind of like waiting in line. It gives me time to think and reflect. And then someone replied, truly unpopular take.
Yeah, that is a hot take for sure. I don't know if I've heard anyone liking waiting in lines.
I mean, I'll make the most of it if I have to wait in line.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can't say I enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, one controversial take. Someone said, Japanese food in Japan is 100 times better than that in any other country, but food from any other country is 100 times better than that in Japan.
What?
Wait. Sorry. Japanese food. I read it so confidently. This is a controversial take. And then I didn't understand what I was reading.
What?
Wait, it made so much more sense in my head.
I'm going to need to hear that again.
Japanese food in Japan is better than that in any other country. Okay, I get it. Japanese food in Japan is 100 times better than that in any other country, but food from any other country is 100 times better than that in Japan. I will explain what they mean in a second. I just want to see if anyone in the replies was like, what? Because Frankie looks super confused.
I'm still confused.
So Japanese food.
You're like, let me explain. And you just read it again.
Yeah, I know.
What does it mean?
Japanese food in Japanese food is only good in Japan. It's not good anywhere else. Okay. However, food from other countries is am I getting it the opposite? Food from any other country is one. Is this a math problem? Is this a problem from Alice in Borderland?
There's that.
Too many than that. Too many 100 times.
100 times better than that. 100 times better than that.
You know what? I'm going to skip over this because now I'm confused. You embarrassed me.
And if anybody in the comments, what the heck are they talking about?
I love just how confidently I read it at first. Controversial take. And then I have no idea.
What am I missing?
It's like an Alice in Borderland riddle for sure. Okay, anyway, skip over that one.
Yeah,
the one under that is a little bit funnier.
Okay.
Someone said, Japanese sweets are absolute shite. Sweet green beans? Sweet bean paste? Get out of here. Mochi is death on a stick, especially for the ? Generation. Oh. Roujin. I did this with my hand. Oh.
Not that population.
Yeah, so ? Generation is the elderly because their bodies are shaped like a question mark. They're controversial.
Is that so? Okay.
Is my assumption. I don't know. I'm convinced that people feed the oldsters this stuff at New Year's just to get them to pop their clogs. Then they can inherit.
Oh my
that is a controversial take for sure.
The mochi is deadly.
Yeah.
There are at least a few people every year who choke to death on mochi around New Year's.
There are, yeah.
Mochi is death on a stick.
Okay. Well, that was some fun controversial takes.
One.
Yeah. Killing old people with mochi?
No, the Japanese desserts are bad.
Oh, yeah.
I could get down with some bean paste, but it depends.
They're not all bad, but also, I mean, as an American who comes from everything with sugar and it's super sweet, I will say the first time I had sweets in Japan, even a cake.
It's an acquired taste.
It was an acquired taste.
It's only for the refined people.
Yeah, it was very bland for me at first, but your palate does change to it for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy it more now than I did when I first arrived.
Yeah. Okay, the last one I'll read is older Japanese people are in general way cooler and more interesting than younger Japanese people.
Interesting
take. I don't know. Maybe. I want to know what they mean by cooler. There's a couple of replies. Let's just see. Someone said, I teach English to around 50 elderly people, and I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like because the older you get, I think the less,
reserved
you become. Like you kind of tend to say what you're thinking more in good and bad ways. But I think you've lived life where you don't have time to beat around the bush as much. Like no one has time for all of these, honne, tatemae formalities. I think they're just going to say what they're thinking. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's why I've talked about it in a previous episode, why the reality show Love Village, where you have to be 35 and older, is so interesting to me, because the way they speak is like, no one's beating around the bush. Like no one cares about Keigo and all this like stuff, It's really fun. But yeah. Any other hot takes that came to mind while you were reading these? The napkin one was the most relatable. It got like, what did I say? 700 something upvotes.
Yeah, that one was funny.
I just like, they don't clean, they smear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And to kind of end the episode, the last post I wanted to read, it was kind of interesting. It says, if you could have a do-over of your life in Japan thus far, what would you change? Would you like to read it?
Okay, they said, for me, I would have liked to experience living in different prefectures or cities before settling down as quickly as I did. I love my current city and it's definitely home, but it would have been interesting to see what else was out there in terms of living options. I appreciate your input and hope you're all enjoying your weekends. Take care.
Yay. So I won't read all of the comments. They all kind of stuck around like three main themes. Yeah. And the first one is living somewhere else besides Tokyo. I fully agree. As someone who was able to live outside of Tokyo for a few years, it's really, I don't know, a good experience that people should do, or if they can. This next one, a lot of people said don't get married as quick or at all here in Japan. And I think they were just talking about Japanese partners specifically. I don't know, maybe a lot of them, the commenters, I'm not saying this happens for everyone, but these commenters in their experience, maybe they got married before knowing who their partners were fully, and then it just caused maybe issues down the line. And when kids get involved, that becomes more complicated. There were unfortunately a lot of comments that just said don't have kids, and that was like, okay, we don't need to, all right. But that was a big theme in the comments as well. And the last one I really kind of hit home for me was lay back on the drinking. And so a lot of people were saying, when they first come to Japan because of nomikai, nomihodai, all you can drink culture, nomikai, drinking party culture. I don't know if you work in a Japanese company, but not being able to say no to your boss if you get invited out to drink, or just the convenience and availability of alcohol in general here. It sounds, very easy to fall into the cycle of drinking every day. I've talked about it, not on the podcast, but on Frankie's personal channel. If you want to check it out, it's almost a year old now. Over a year ago, we took it. About how Japan has changed me. So I talk about how, I used to just drink a lot more. And the people in the comments also agreed, maybe they wouldn't have spent so much time just getting drunk all the time. And that was really, I don't know, like hit me right there. Yeah. Because it does consume up a lot of your life. Those strong zeros. And money. And life and money. We'll talk about it in a different episode.
We're going to talk about strong zeros.
Strong zeros. There's some good research about that we have. Yeah. So stick around for the next episode for that.
I would like to add to when they said not get married as quick.
Yeah.
I think also, to say don't get married at all, like, okay, that's a little sad. But not get married as quick, like, that makes sense. Because I think dating, at least compared to the US, moves much quicker here. It's like 3 dates and people kind of decide whether they want to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's true. Yeah,
I was surprised by that in the beginning. Like, whoa, we just met. We just met. To be your girlfriend.
I know sometimes because my husband and I, we've been married less than a year, but we've been together for over 6 years. And when I tell that to Japanese people, this was like before we got married too. So they were like, how long were you together? I'm like, 5 years. They're like, what? And you're not married? Like, it was just like so foreign to them. And for me, that's kind of when, me personally, I would like to, date someone for a couple of years and at least live with them first. Together, So for me, it was normal. But for a lot of Japanese people, they were like, what? Yeah. And
interesting cultural difference.
Yeah. Oh, I lied. Another I'll just summarize it. One person in the comments, one thing they would like to redo is just make more effort to learning Japanese.
Yeah, I figured that would be a popular response too.
So they said nearly 10 years in and their Japanese is like pretty much garbage. And they have a lot of reasons, like maybe they only use English at work and a lot of their interaction is just only English. So yeah, it makes sense why they can't pick up Japanese or they just haven't had opportunity to. But sorry, I just wanted to say that was also a popular comment in the thread.
Yeah, and I also agree with living somewhere else besides Tokyo.
Yeah.
I started in Tokyo. And at the time, I felt like I can't live anywhere else. This is the best place ever. And then when I moved to Osaka, I was not really worried or disappointed, but I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to like it as much as Tokyo. But then I ended up liking it more.
Yeah, I feel like if you have the opportunity, if your first time living in Japan and maybe first time being in Japan is Tokyo, to try to get out there to a different side of Japan to live, only because living in Tokyo is so fun when you're in your early 20s or in your when you're younger or if it's your first time here because like Frankie said, it has everything. It's very convenient. There's just so much to do. And now I'm gonna sound so old, but like with a kid and just me personally and the activities I like to do and how I like to spend my days, I'm so happy I don't live in Tokyo now, and I'm really thankful for my experience living in the countryside because it's just such a different side of Japan you get to see, such different people. And I feel like a lot of people who leave Japan with that burnout, maybe because they've only experienced Tokyo life,
That is true. It's very hardcore with the work culture. Yeah,
just moving around. Like, it wasn't even...
Just the whole atmosphere is different.
Yeah, it's very busy. And, like, as someone from Hawaii who was just, it's so laid back there, obviously. And I wasn't even working in Tokyo. I was just going to school as a student. But the routine of waking up and taking a train, like, the commute is what really broke me down with living in Tokyo, was just having to train everywhere.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
The memories.
Yeah, but we have been here for almost 10 years. Is there any, I guess, advice for anyone out there who may or may not be falling out of love with Japan? Anything you want to say to the people or to yourself?
I would just say don't force it. If, you don't need to love living here. If you don't, it is what it is. It's okay. You don't need to, force yourself to stay in a situation you're unhappy in with any aspect of life. And like maybe changing your job would help or moving to a new city or something. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
I think my advice is really just find your community. And if there's something you like to do or if you have a hobby, find the community for that hobby. I don't know, just easier said than done. Like make friends, but truly once you find your people, it is so much less lonely here in Japan because life in Japan can be very lonely as a foreigner, as a Japanese person too,
Anybody, it's really easy to fall into that lifestyle because there's a lot of stuff that's catered to people who go out alone, which is good. But then it's also very easy to just not talk to anybody if you don't want to.
Yeah. So that's my advice is just find your community and take it one day at a time. And like Frankie said, you don't, just because, you live in Japan doesn't mean you have to force yourself to live in Japan.
Yeah, or to love the work culture.
Yeah.
If it's,
It like anywhere, it just takes a while to get adapted to, I think. But I don't know. I like living here and I'll keep living here for a long time.
I'm happy here too. Yeah. But that's not to say that I'm like better or worse than anybody else just because I want to stay. Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I had. It was more just a key of an episode. So thank you for sticking with us. I found some interesting Reddit stories. Hope you liked them. Yep. And all right. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.